there's really one band that influenced me. I mean, I guess, I might as well explain how I started the band, you know, that would probably help a little bit. Well, obviously I was on Power Rangers, and after Power Rangers, at that time it was really hard for me to get a job. And there weren't a whole lot of roles for, you know, half Asians. I was fortunate to even just get, you know, Power Rangers. But after that, it was a real struggle just to be able to continue acting. And part of it, I mean, I was a background ranger too. I wasn't like, you know, Tommy or Kimberly, you know, I wasn't like in the front ever. And so it was a tough time for me. And, you know, I kind of hit rock bottom. I was talking to you guys earlier about that, but, you know, I was in and out of places to live, you know, living with friends. I had like 2 trash bags full of clothes, a broken cot, and a guitar that I told myself I would learn. And that dream of being an actor was like quickly fading, you know? And I knew that I had nothing else, you know, but what I had at the time. And so I picked up the guitar and started to teach myself to play. And I said, okay, well, this is it. This is all I've got right now. What's in this room, what's in these bags, what's in my hands, this is it. And I basically started, you know, a new dream right there. And that, when I played and I started to come up with songs and write songs, it brought me out of that kind of depression and that funk that I was in. And I mean, I was met with all kind of people would, like, I played for people and they would say that I was terrible and I could never sing in front of people. You'd never be a rock star. I had people laugh in my face. I had a lot of people tell me that I shouldn't do it, I should just give up. But I had nothing else, you know? And so I was like, if I don't succeed at this, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, you know? And so I just kept at it, because that was it, you know? In the meantime, I started to, you know, do some voiceover work. I fell into that a little bit, and some, you know, by the grace of God, I was able to continue working as an actor as I was still continuing the music thing, you know? Formed a band, you know, because I knew that in that depression that I was in, and it had brought me out of it, that I was hoping that in some way our music, if people listened to it and actually could connect with our music, that it would bring them out of whatever they're in, or maybe motivate you to accomplish your dreams, you know? And that was really just kind of the passion behind starting the band. It's like, and this is all I've got, you know, maybe this is all anybody else has got to listen to or something, you know, or maybe this will push them towards that hope or that dream. And that's why we're here. That's why we're doing it still, you know, it's because we still believe in it. We're not signed. This is all just, I mean, it comes out of our own pocket, like everything, all those CDs, the shirts, and even the pictures and stuff that we have over there. When you guys buy that stuff, you're funding the band. You're basically keeping us alive. You know, we would not be here. And I know that there's very little people, obviously, if you look around, there's very few people that have even heard of the band, you know? And I'm obviously pushing it. I'm trying to push the name of the band more than myself, because I want it to be about the band, you know? I don't mind you knowing who I am, but I don't want to go out. It's not Johnny and Bosch's band, it's Eyeshine, you know? And I really want it to be able to stand by itself, you know? Long answer. Let me introduce you guys. This is Polo. He plays lead guitar in the band. Obviously, I'm Johnny. I play guitar and sing. And Maurice is drums. And Maurice has been with the band the longest. Polo, Maurice and I met him in Idaho when we were doing another gig, an acoustic show. And Zach is playing bass. He's filling in. Because our bassist had just, you know, she got offered a lot of money to play for another band. And so, you know, Zach is from another band that's local, if you guys are in LA or near LA. It's a band called Service Interruption. And they play, you know, we do a regular gig in LA, Little Tokyo. You guys show up, obviously.
Yeah, if you guys are local, we have flyers that'll get you in for free. Our next show is September 5th in Little Tokyo. You should definitely check it out.
So on Service Interruption will be there as well.
I did watch the show. I would come back home in 3rd grade and watch it after school every day. But it was I actually stopped watching right when he came in. But I did watch the movie, and then so I did recognize him when I saw him at church. But yeah, everyone liked Power Rangers.
Like when John Lennon and Paul McCartney first met, they were choir singers at the church. But like, how did? But I know that you were already like both of you were already self-taught in instruments. But how did you guys meet and then become Eyeshine?
Well, we didn't sing in the choir.
Yeah.
I played bass guitar at the time, and
For the church band.
and I did occasionally play the acoustic guitar. Maurice was in the youth group, and he played drums occasionally.
Yeah, I actually started playing congas and bongos, and then they needed a drummer, so I had to play. And if they invited us, maybe.
I don't know, but Adam's got to be.
Is Adam in a band? Does that make sense? Would it make sense, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to writing a theme song or something for it. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. The new opening theme song for Power Rangers. What is the newest one?
Didn't they do like rap or something in it? A little bit of rap. Is that the one? That was the other one?
Well, what is it? I mean, not the song, but like Power Ranger, Ninja, what is it? Samurai. Oh.
But yeah, so it's an opening thing would be great.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Eyeshine?
Well, we had a different name prior to Eyeshine, and I didn't like it. And
At the time, it was clever, so we thought.
it wasn't
It wasn't clever.
Yeah. It was a terrible band name. How many of you guys are artists? You draw? Anybody draw? Okay, so the rest of you won't get this reference. But like I used to draw, right, a lot. And like when you draw something, and maybe like earlier on, not when you're like maybe you're really good now, but when you first started drawing and you thought you were getting better, you're like thumb shading stuff, and you're like, ooh, that's cool, right? And you put it in a drawer, and maybe a few months later you pull that out and look at it, and it looks stupid. You know what I mean? So you thought at the time it was cool, so it's kind of the same thing. We thought the band name was cool at the time. But then later, it's just like, yeah, this band name's dumb. We call it ourselves Partly Clouded. And, it's pretty stupid. But, I also say, no, it's clever, because, like, the news will always talk about us. We'd be a household name. And so, anyhow, it dawned on me that it was a dumb name, and it didn't really work. And I wanted something a bit more elusive or something, and maybe I had to think about the name a little bit more. And, I couldn't think of anything, and I remember I was just sitting at home watching Crocodile Hunter, and he was on a boat at night on this like river, and he had this lantern, and he would hold it up. He's like, "You gotta look for their eyes shining," and you'd see their eyes shining over the lake, and the reflection from the lantern or whatever. And he'd dive in and wrestle them in. And I was just paying attention to it. My thought was just like, why is he wrestling them into the boat? Anyhow, he just kept saying it, you go over for their Eyeshine, you see their Eyeshine? He just kept saying it, and eventually at the end of the show, it stuck in my head, and I was like, that's what we should call ourselves, Eyeshine. So, thanks to Steve Irwin.
Rest in peace.
So, I saw you guys at KTLA, giving the gig. How was that?
KTLA,
How was that experience for you guys?
That was pretty cool, yeah. Did you mean the morning thing, or did you see the actual competition?
Hey.
Wow, okay.
What's up? So, if you didn't know, we were in a competition called Gimme the Gig. It's sponsored by Ford, and we were in it last year. And we got to the final 7, and we didn't win. We didn't win. Which is fine, because we sucked at the time. We still kind of suck. But then we did it again. We went through, and all the fans had great support and voted us in, and we worked hard. And we won this year, and it was awesome. Basically, you got to work with a producer named Don Waz, Don Was. He produced the Rolling Stones, Elton John, currently John Mayer, loads of other people. Big name. So we got to produce a single with him. It's online right now. The music video's there. It's on iTunes. It was a great opportunity.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. I mean, it was probably the biggest thing that we won. You know?
We get in a lot of
It
fun.
was like a worldwide search, you know, and they went through 2,500 bands like from across the world, and we won. So that's pretty cool, I think. You know? And we're just some no-name, unsigned band in LA. You know? How many of you guys are local to like LA area?
You guys gotta come to our shows.
You guys need to start coming to our shows. We play in LA at least once a month. You should come check it out. And it's good. We hang out. We do. And we're not terrible people, huh? OC, we keep saying we're going to play somewhere there, but
Where should we
found
play?
a gig yet.
Send us suggestions on our wall.
San Antonio? Yeah, those are a little far.
Yeah.
If we were signed and had a ton of money, like our bassist is in a new band that has a ton of money, so they could probably go.
Yeah, they could go.
No, I mean, I think that's how I sound. But when I first started doing voiceover, like for Trigun and stuff like that, I wasn't used to hearing my voice. Even on Power Rangers, when I did the helmet head stuff, it just was weird to me, you know? I remember when I was younger, and me and a friend were playing out in the front, we were throwing the football back and forth. And across the street was this family was like just a messed up family, and as a little kid, he was like maybe 6 or 5 or somewhere in that age. And he was just a punk, you know, and we were throwing the football and he just came out and started throwing these rocks at us. And we're like, dude, what are you doing? You know, and then he went inside, and about 5 minutes later, his sister comes out and starts like cussing at me and yelling at me, and I'm like, he threw a rock at us. We didn't do anything to him, you know? And she's like, you sound like a girl, whatever, right? And she said that when I was young to me, you know? And so it like damaged me. I stopped like talking. I became very shy, and everything was internalized, you know? Because I thought like, oh my gosh, I sound like a girl, you know? And so when I got on the Power Rangers, like when I heard myself, I was like, oh man, do I sound like a girl? You know, and then even like with Bash or whatever, I started to come out of it at that point, but I was like, I don't really sound like a girl. What is she talking about? She's just being mean, you know? And so at the beginning, yeah, it was kind of weird, you know? Kind of like, you know, when you record your voicemail thing, and you're like, that's odd. Do I sound like that? You try to make yourself sound cooler some way. Anyhow, yeah.
As an aspiring performer myself, what is the most rewarding thing that you get out of performing?
It's really awesome when we have like a packed show and the energy is just awesome and we hear people singing our songs. That's really cool. That's probably the best moments of touring.
I ain't just playing. I think I basically would say the same thing, you know, if there is a crowd, even if it's just one person. I mean, it stinks if it's just like 5 people there in the show. But if those 5 people know the songs or if they're into it, it's pretty rewarding, you know. Because again, it's like we're not signed, you know. We're not out there, you know. Anything like if anybody knows us, it's because we've been pushing and because of fans like you guys have actually been supporting us and you know telling people about us, and so we're just growing from that. So it's cool. And I said this earlier, but you know, there's been a lot. I've gotten so many emails from people that had come to our show thinking that they were just gonna make fun of us and that we were just gonna blow and be terrible. You know, I've had I can't even count the number of times that I got that kind of email, but that they said that we were actually good and they actually like our music. And so that is really rewarding. Somebody who's coming that actually think that we're just gonna be tards out there, you know.
You're a Power Ranger fan,
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, if you hear that, you probably would. You want to check out the Power Rangers band? It's gonna suck. You know, yeah, I can get that. You know, it's like if I saw like one of the guys from Star Trek has a band, I'd go, yeah, let's see how good this is, you know. So I get it, I understand, you know. So it is rewarding when people are like, they actually like our stuff, you know.
Sometimes we get some emails and stories of people saying how like our songs really helped them go through a tough time, and that's awesome. That's our goal, to motivate you guys.
Yeah, we did. There was this Never Gonna Fake It. There's another song that was playing just a second ago. But there's a guy that actually it was Jumpstart. But Never Gonna Fake It has motivated people before and told us. But the song Jumpstart, this guy was in line and he was listening, and it was like at Starbucks, and he was listening to our song Jumpstart. And some guy was like having like a heart attack. And then because of that song, he like did like whatever CPR stuff.
He kept the guy alive.
Kept the guy alive long enough for the ambulance to get him to the hospital and save him. And because of that, he decided to become an EMT.
And he went back to,
You know?
to become.
So that when we saw that, we're like, dude, that's
cool,
a pretty cool
wow.
story. I would hope that, you know, because I mean, if you listen to a lot of our stuff now, it's about not giving up. It's about perseverance. And I think that you'll always have struggles in life, you know, even if things are going good, you know, you end up having a bad day or something. So I just hope that if we ever get signed, that our music would still apply to people's lives. You know?
Also, I think right now, since we're not super huge, we can really interact with fans, like, although with a lot of time, or we have more time to do that. I guess if we were bigger, we'd have less time, so I hope that wouldn't affect it too much. We would try to be as, friendly to the fans as possible.
Yeah, I mean, we're regular people,
Yeah.
you know, and if you come to our shows, like in LA or whatever, you would see that. We just hang out with you guys and stuff like that. It's not like we don't charge you to sit at the table and stuff like that, you know. It's just, obviously the convention is different, they have rules here, but yeah, if you meet us on the street, we're just regular people.
I have a question for Polo, since he's been so quiet. How have you enjoyed your experience with Eyeshine so far?
Very cool, yeah. Like I got an offer from Eyeshine last August. Then I never have a tour in US. I never have a play for TV show or anything. Like give me the gig. It's everything first time. It's always excited, and then these guys so funny. Yeah. And
Well, welcome to the family.
thank you.
Polo's from Japan.
In case you were wondering.
What are some of the craziest things that have happened either during rehearsal or at a concert?
I remember one while you guys think of stuff. It's like one of our very first shows, like second or third show. We played this, there's a place called Cobalt in like Canoga or whatever. And it's a dump, man. It's like, it's just trashy there. Like the windows are painted black, you know, and it's just dark and dingy. And at the time, the music scene was all just screamo bands. Like everyone was like, you know, like the entire time. You didn't know what they were saying. And we're just coming in. They were kind of like this, like at the time, we're just more of a, you could say we were like a pop punk-ish type of band at the time, you know. And so we had melodies and words that you could understand. And they hated us the first time. And so we tried to harden our style a little bit so we could fit in, you know. And so we had like 7 songs down. And it was just actually Maurice, myself, and then our bass player at the time. It was just 3 of us. And we're like, all right, we gotta get in there, we gotta rock. And then we're there on stage, and we're all pumped up, excited about these 7 songs we have down, perfect. And we know like, they're just gonna love us this time. And so I turned around, and Maurice, I'm like, you ready? He's like, yeah. I look at the bass, said, you ready? He's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And I turn around to face the audience, and I strum down as hard as I can because I'm ready to rock. And I break my A string. And so they're ready. I didn't have another guitar or strings. And so it was just like, you know, like a rock band or whatever, you mess up, you're not hitting the right time. It's like, that's all it was the whole time. I'm like trying to sing over that. It was embarrassing and terrible. People were like this.
We never went back to
Yeah, we never went back. We just assumed that.
Maybe we should though.
I think maybe we should.
Well, in Philadelphia, there's this place called the Trocadero. Is anybody from there, around Philly? Yeah, so the Trocadero, we played there, and this band we were using all their equipment, and they had really expensive amps, and the guy's drum set was arranged all crazy, and it was really expensive. So we played after them, and we were using their equipment. Yeah, I didn't want to waste any time rearranging it, so I kept it in his format. And somehow I nicked my middle finger right here, and it was just bleeding a little bit. But I guess it was one of those cuts where it just bleeds like crazy. And I was just going like this, and then I noticed there's these red spots on the set. I'm like, whoa! I'm like, Johnny, I'm bleeding! I don't even know why I told him, but...
He tells me, like, we're in the middle of the set,
Yeah.
so we're like playing. And I look at him at one point, he's like, I'm bleeding. I'm like,
That's it. The show must go on, but yeah, so I'm spraying blood all over, and yeah, by the end of the set, he says it looked like I sacrificed a cat, but I guess it was pretty bad.
you know drum sets, you know they have the heads, which those are white. They're white, weren't they? Yeah, they're like this, you know, they're like white. And when I had gone back there to, you know, find out what he's talking about, he's bleeding, somebody shoot him. And I look, and there's just blood, like seriously, like all over. There's like no white spot at all. It was just like, it really did look like he just had a cat. It was like,
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
and now this band they played was like, I mean, they had money, and all their equipment was like very expensive. You know, this drum kit had to be at least $5,000 at least, and he bled all over.
Our bassist at the time was so stupid. He's like, when the guy came up, I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, I'll help you clean it. And our bassist's like, he has AIDS. I don't. It's pretty stupid, but it's funny now. But it's known there. They don't know. The venue doesn't probably remember.
They don't remember the band name. Eyeshine?
Yeah. They remember the bleeding, and they would always joke about it, like, are you going to bleed on this guy's set? Like, if someone's using different things. Yeah. It's gross.
I'm a musician from Oregon.
Oh, nice. There you go.
I've been playing rock and roll for 40 years.
Yeah, there you go.
And I just wanted to let you guys know, I don't think you should feel bad about not being signed, because you're entrepreneurs, you're motivated businessmen, as well as musicians, and more power to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is actually a question for Zach. Though some of us know and some of us not so much, you're filling in as bass player after Crystal left, and you're already a bassist in your own band, Service Interruption. How's it like for you, you know, settling into Eyeshine, like learning to play their songs, and while still like trying to juggle more than two bands?
Well, it's hard to commit to like two bands, so it's hard. But
Join Eyeshine.
they will. I don't know. Paula wants me to stay. I don't know about the rest. But I've been committing to my other band for my whole life, so it's pretty hard. And I don't know. When I first started with Eyeshine, they were like, you learn 20 songs in like 2 days. So they're like most of them on the hotel, like right before the show. But I mean, it's worth it. It's a good experience with Eyeshine. Yeah, that's all to say.
So yeah, we just do it all ourselves. Yeah, it's all within the band. You know, we basically, and I think this is. I mean, I assume other bands do this kind of thing. You know, but I think one of the things that kind of helps us stay, I guess, somewhat successful is that we each are responsible for not just our part in the band as far as like drums or guitar or whatever, but that like, okay, so like I manage some of the bookings and Maurice does the video shooting stuff or whatever, you know, and Polo does all our live sound. So everybody has this is your responsibility, so you got to do this is your job. You know, if like, there's a lot of times where there's just one guy that's doing all of it, you know, he's cussing and yelling at everybody, you know, and I think it's good to have like delegate, responsibilities to everyone so that you kind of share in the workload a bit, you know? And I guess that's kind of Does that answer the question? Yes.
You know, we actually tried looking for managers, and I don't know what it is
They
about.
flake.
Yeah, even producers.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really believes in it as much as you would, you know. And that's the other thing. It's like we tried to find some managers, and these guys were like really into us as far as we knew. You know, we met with them a couple times, and they're like, "Yeah, we can get you this Pepsi sponsorship, and we can get you this and that and this." And we're like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." And when it came down to get the paperwork done and all that stuff, it was like they were dragging their feet, you know. And that it was like they wanted us to wait in producing our album, you know. And it was like, and this a couple, even that other Warner Brothers group or whatever that wanted us to sign with them, and it was like they wanted us to hold off our album, you know, and so that they could say which songs, you know, so they could approve the songs on the album and stuff like that. And it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because it was like, man, for me, it's like, no, we need to get this stuff out now. You know, we need to get it out now, because if we don't get this stuff out now and we sit on it, it's not going to get done. I have a friend who's got his own band, or he's been trying to do it for a long time. And it took him 8 years to do his first album because he sat on it, you know. And even if it's not the perfect thing, you know, you got to get it out there so that you can continue to grow, you know. They're just, yeah. And I think because of that and us just doing it, I wouldn't be opposed to a manager now.
Yeah,
Don't get me the wrong way. I
no,
wouldn't be opposed, and we would entertain the thought of a manager, you know. But we really just, I know that, you know, they're not going to believe in it as much as we do, you know. And because they didn't start it, they weren't here from the beginning, you know. Maybe they'll catch on to, you know, our passion or whatever, and that would be cool.
That'd be great if there was a manager who knew what he was doing and believed in us and wanted to go all the way. Sure. Well, I guess my first convention is when I noticed, or when I realized that Johnny has a big fan base. Because they're like, "Wow, Johnny." And I was like, whoa, that's cool. I don't think it goes against the band. It's
sometimes it does. Like sometimes,
just like the Power Rangers.
Like people would think negatively of the band before even hearing us,
Yeah.
you know, because you know, stuff that I've done, you know, or whatever.
So-
Power Rangers, if they, you know, you hear, oh, Power Ranger has a band, you know, and then you're probably not going to think it's going to be a very good band. You're going to think, oh, do they just do Power Ranger songs, you know?
I think it's a great.
It opens doors. It opens doors.
But if we sucked, they'd
Those doors
shut
would
us.
So
So
we
it
have to
certainly
climb through the
helps.
windows.
Yeah, Keanu is a
That's
rock
true.
star,
That's
and
true. But
I can't
Let's
even
see, they're
remember the lead
okay.
singer of 30 Seconds of Mars.
yeah.
Yeah. See, they're good.
And they're good, the band's
Yeah.
good, but I mean, you have to wonder how that plays into those ones.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, you know, and that's one of the hard things for me is like, I don't really like to promote this as Johnny Young Bosch's band, you know, and I always try to just push it as Eyeshine, but people don't know that name, you know, and I'm just hoping that eventually it'll catch on and enough people will like it that we won't have to, like, plug me in it, you know, if they find out, cool, you know, but I would like for it to be about the music.
I will be honest, I was like, oh, he's in a band. Okay, I'll get the CDs. And I'm like, I really like this, so I'm buying
Cool.
more CDs. So.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
cool.
resting like most people here to see because it really is. It's really great music.
I appreciate that.
So thank y'all for
Yeah.
using it.
And I know people are going to come from, you know, all walks of anything that I've done, like anime, I mean, video games, people, they always find out, like, eventually that I have a band, and then they check us out, which is cool, so. It's not a negative thing, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, changed my life a lot. Certainly, I almost feel like I'm growing up in this band. But when we first started it, it was almost like a hobby. I didn't really take it serious. I think it was just fun. I'm like, cool, let's do a band. It wasn't until I started seeing reactions and like, whoa, we're changing some people's lives and are affecting people in a positive way. That's where it's like, okay, I should start taking this seriously.
Well, it's tough. I mean, it totally changed my life. You know, it's like I said earlier. I could not get a job. I was struggling. I had 2 trash bags and a guitar and a broken cot. That's all I had to my name after Power Rangers. Literally. Lost it all, you know. And if you know any of the story about my ex or whatever, who was also on Power Rangers, I'm not going to tell you about it now, but yeah, like she took everything from me, you know, and it was just a bad time for me, you know, and I had nothing else, and the guitar was sitting there, and I was like, well, I either have to sell it or play it, you know, and so I started playing it, and out of necessity, I learned to sing and write songs, and I started a band, you know, because I still had some fire and passion to be creative, and I didn't know it was going to be successful, and I can't say that it's totally successful, but I can say that we're definitely, you know, progressing as a band. We're getting out there, you know. So it's totally changed my life. I mean, you're looking at guys, even Polo. I mean, we're all in. We're all in. You know, even Polo's like trying to get his visa now. He got turned down because, like, I mean, he needed to prove like 3 out of 6 things. He needed to prove that he's a lead guitarist for the band Eyeshine, which he was able to prove. He needed to prove that he is a musician, which he was able to prove. And then he needed to prove that Eyeshine is known outside of LA, which for some reason they didn't look at it, but we have traveled, I mean, even before then, we've been to New Zealand and Canada, all over the States, Hawaii, you know, it's just that they did not look at it. And so he got denied his visa. And so we're going for it again with even more proof. We had fans from all over the world. I mean, like Chile and everywhere. Like Switzerland, we had Germany, like Russia, like fans writing in to support Polo and say, no, I know who this band is, you know, and I'm not from LA, you know. And so, and Maurice, he's all in. This is all he does, you know. I'm the only one that still does like something else, like acting and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, I mean, I love acting, I do, you know, and it's just another extension of myself. But I mean, a lot of what I make, I just kind of filter it back into the band and try to pour back into what we're doing, you know, so that we can keep making music, you know. And it's all on our own, you know. We didn't record at a big studio. Bang Zoom let us use their studio for our first album, which was totally cool of them. But since then, we've recorded everything in our garage, you know, everything. Our latest album, all that, you know. Even using Bang Zoom Studio, it was us recording it. It was us in there with drums and mics, and we were just doing it all on our own. And you can hear it. If you listen to our first album, all the way through to the last one, you just hear like how we've gotten better, not only in writing songs, but in mixing and recording and laying down tracks and, you know, and lyrics and whatnot. You can kind of hear that progression, which, I mean, obviously for me, it's pretty cool because then I can see the growth, you know, and if you're a musician, you would understand. You can listen to it and go like, oh, okay, I'm seeing the journey that these guys are taking. And I will tell you one more thing. If you're on YouTube, or check out YouTube, youtube.com/The Eyeshine Band. If you go there, we have like the Eyeshine, or you can even just type in Eyeshine Experience. We document everything that we do because we're unsigned, because there's other musicians out there that, what is it like, you know, what do you guys do, how do you guys get out there? And we document everything that we've done.
Since we started it, we've lost 3 members on video.
We're going to be releasing episode 9 here over just as soon as this convention's over. And so you'll get to find out the whole story behind, you know, Crystal leaving and all that stuff and how we dealt with it. But it's all real. It's not like fake. Robbed in Miami, that's all in there, you know. Some guy like came in, broke into the hotel, or snuck into the hotel room and stole like iPads and iPods and computers and everything from us. Luckily, didn't steal Polo's guitars. So it's all just our story. So if you want to find out more, just Eyeshine Experience on YouTube.
Yeah, please subscribe. That's us.
Yeah, if you have Facebook too, like us on Facebook. If you like us. Well, if you don't like us anyways.
If you don't like us, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll make a don't like button as well, because if you like or don't like.
But we're tricking you, it's doing something.
I write most of the stuff, and I don't know that I really thought about it, like style or anything like that. I just knew verses occasionally a pre-chorus, a chorus, or a bridge. You know, I kind of knew some kind of structure. And that's another thing you can figure out from our first album to our last, is like how we write songs. But yeah, I didn't know what to do, you know, and I just kind of wrote what felt right. And through our albums, you can hear like a difference. Like we're not that like some people say, you're still trying to find your voice or your sound or whatever. And I think for us, it's more just exploring like our limitations, you know, and how far can we take our sound. We did an album that's just an instrumental because I wanted an album it's mostly instrumental. So if you guys are listening to it, maybe it's more of a motivational thing. You just listen to it when you do whatever you do, meditate, or you can provide your own lyrics, you know. And we just wanted to do different things. And even our latest album is a little harder and edgier than our last because some people, not a lot, but some people said, the last album was a little mellow for me. You guys like do some screaming or something? And so the new album, we did a little screaming. It's not wall-to-wall, Cookie Monster stuff, but you know, there is some. When it felt appropriate, you know, appropriate for me to scream, and I did, you know. And so we're just exploring our style. We don't really know, and that's why we call ourselves edge rock. You know, you can say modern rock or alternative rock, but it's in there. We don't really know.
We always asked what we sounded like to people, and we just heard such a big range of different bands. So
earlier it was like Green Day, like 182, and some people said Linkin Park. 30 Seconds to Mars is another one. Taking Back Sunday, we've heard Angels and Airwaves, Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah.
So it's just
Taylor
kind of
Swift, Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. Lately, there's been a lot of Justin Bieber.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
You're like, okay.
It's kind of funny you mention it because the whole not that you hadn't found your voice thing. I think the music evolves in and of itself over time because Linkin Park started out, like you said, you know, kind of screaming rapping.
Yeah.
And now they had a whole album that was just, I'm putting it in these different genres to see how it feels. And you wouldn't think that they hadn't found their voice, so why shouldn't we all have it?
Right, yeah.
It's really kind of amazing to see just how your music changes over time based on who's in the band, how you're feeling, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Thank you.
What inspired you to make those music and the lyrics and all that stuff?
Usually just what we go through, you know. Some of it's just like it might be a little more obvious, like never gonna fake it, you know. But the majority or the theme overall is just like our struggles that we deal with personally or as a band, you know. And I try to write in a way where it's not just this. It could be about a relationship. It could be about something else. I try to have like a couple meanings so that it's not just about this one thing, so that more people can actually, you know, get it, relate to it, you know.
And through your band, have you ever wanted to experiment with new instruments to play or add to the band?
New instruments? Yeah. Yeah, we have. And that was, well, with our instrumental album, we did, I bought like this delay thing, and Polo always makes fun of me because I have so many delay pedals. But yeah, I was just trying all these different delays, and then I was like, that sounds kind of cool, you know? But yeah, we've done violins and pianos and cellos in our acoustic album. We're going to do more in our new acoustic album that we're finishing up. So, kids choir. So yeah, within what we can do, you know, and we do want to like come up there. We were talking about the other day of like coming up with new sounds or using something else, having a different sound. There's like something else that we're just gonna throw it in there. Oh, like I have a punching bag in my garage, you know, and so it's like a 200-pound bag, you know, and we're gonna use that as like a kick or something, you know, and we're just because why not? What is it gonna sound like if I'm kicking a bag, you know? Not that we would do that in the concert, but like, it's so hard to keep up with it. But just to get a different sound, you know. So yeah, we will. Thank you.
Are you guys going to do anything else with Narvi directing a video?
Well, we would, but he moved.
He's in Chicago.
He moved to Chicago, And that's the only reason. Yeah, he used to live out here, and and Narby's obviously a good friend of mine. So I was like, dude, hey, you want to shoot our music video? And we sent him 2 songs, and he picked Our Whole Lives Tonight. And yeah, they shot that one. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I mean, Our Whole Lives Tonight, you can look it up, Eyeshine. And it's directed by Jason Narby, Skolovich.
Skull.
In fact, he shot majority of our beginning episodes of the Eyeshine experience. So if you watch that stuff, all of our behind the scenes or whatever, he shot that. Even our new DVD that's not out yet, but will be out. But he shot some of that footage as well.
Do you remember your work back on Bully Chop Squad?
Yeah.
How do you feel like your band experience is going through the same stuff like how that anime went?
Yeah, it's very. There are a lot of similarities. If you don't know, he mentioned a show called Beck that I worked on, and it's an anime about basically this group of guys that are trying to form a band and be successful. And it's fairly realistic, playing in just dumps, and band members coming and going. It's a pretty decent story, but yeah, there's definitely similarities to the stuff that we deal with and that show. I will tell you this, that no, we have not thought of covering a bunch of Power Ranger songs, but tonight we will be playing, maybe, if enough people are there, we might do a little bit of the Go-Go Power Ranger thing. Just depends. If you guys are just bored, then no, we're not going to do it. And I will tell you that on our acoustic album, at some other con, occasionally, if you go to our acoustic show tomorrow, we do a lot of acoustic improv stuff, and so people ask us questions. And during a live show at some con, somebody had asked me to sing a song about Power Rangers and zombies. And so I just made up a song about Rangers versus zombies, and that song is going to be on our acoustic album. Our second acoustic album. Yeah, we have one here, but it's going to be on our new one.
I've seen YouTube videos about panels with you and Jason, as you are the instigator of his pranks. So I was wondering, what was the biggest instigating or plan you made Jason do in the film set?
Well, see, the thing with, we never planned any of the pranks. It wasn't like we thought about it, They were just like maybe someone pop in my head, and then I would mention it, and then Jason would do it, or I would dare him to, or he would just do things. Jason Frank is, Jason Prank. That's what you can call him. You can tell him I said it. And he always pulled pranks. He still does. He still pulls pranks. And sometimes they cross the line. Sometimes they cross the line. But he's a good friend of mine. So, thank you. No problem. I haven't had any of the bad ones pulled on me. I've been fortunate.
What was one of the pranks that he pulled on you that came close to crossing the line?
Okay, here's one that he pulled on me. It came close to making me die. We were shooting a movie in Australia, and we're driving the set, and it's kind of through this bumpy, rocky, deserty road. And we're in the car, it's a van, and I'm in the back, and Jason Frank is next to me. And for whatever reason, I'm thinking, it'd be kind of cool if I climb outside this window, get on the roof, and climb back in on the other side. And I said it out loud, as I was thinking how cool it would be. And he was like, "You won't do it. You're chicken." I was like, "I'll do it." He's like, "Nah, you're chicken. You're not gonna do it." I was like, "I'll do it." And so I climbed out the window, and I got on the roof, and I just started riding it. And all of a sudden, the car starts going faster. I'm like, "Holy cow!" And then I kind of could lean forward and see in the windshield. I was like, "What's she doing?" Because it was a female that was driving us. And I see Jason has reached over, and he's like pushing on the gas and then making her go faster. And the next thing I know, he's like, got the wheel, and he's doing this. I'm like swinging side to side like this. I'm like, holy crap. At the same time, it was kind of exciting and fun and stupid. So don't do this though, because you could die. And then I was like, okay, I've had enough fun of near-death experience because of Jason. So I decided I'm gonna climb back in on the window, which was open. And so as I lean over, the window has been rolled up. And I see Jason going like, you know? I'm like, dude, open it up. And he reaches in the front and starts swerving a bit more. And then finally the driver like starts hitting him like this. And he opens it up and lets me in. So that was one prank he pulled on me. And you can ask him about the story where he got the scar on his face. How did you say, hey, Jason, how'd you get that scar? If he doesn't beat you up, he'll tell you the story and blame me for it. But it was his fault.
There's an acoustic song that y'all did improv at a convention where someone had asked if we're really the Black Power Ranger. And it's hysterical. Is that ever going to wind up on any of the acoustic albums?
I don't know. I don't remember half of the stuff we make up. The only time, like the Teddy Bear That Eats You made it on the acoustic album because it just got so popular. And so, I mean, if it gets that popular, we might, just because it would be fun for fans.
Awesome.
While you guys are on tour, has Johnny made you guys ever go like a marathon of all his like work, like films, anime roles that he's done? He's made you sit through it while you guys are on tour or something?
Does he make us watch his work?
Yeah.
No.
Which, if you guys have seen some of the stuff he's done, which one is your favorite?
Wolf's Rain. That was my favorite. I actually watched it before he was even casted, and I was like, hey man, that's a good anime, you should try to get it. Then he's like, oh yeah, I'm Kiba, the lead role. Yeah.
Thanks for answering.
I was just wondering, kind of the same with him. I know you and Jason David Frank are really good friends. Do you guys ever like, I know he does MMA stuff, do you ever like go to his stuff and he goes to like, he watches your stuff and goes to your concerts and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, well, he's a big promoter of our stuff. In fact, we've been trying to get him to come back out to LA for a bit because we have a song. We had a heavy metal night last month or whatever, or was it this month? The beginning of this month, yeah. Where it was a heavy metal night and we needed to do a heavy metal song, and we couldn't come up with a good heavy metal song for us to play, so we took a U2 song, With or Without You, and just made it heavy, just screaming and all kinds of stuff. And so Jason, we've recorded it, and Jason's going to come in and do all the screaming for it. And then we're going to shoot a music video.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you guys for coming.